Hello, I'm John Joseph, and I'm the author of Treating Addiction, Recovery from Alcoholism and Drug Addiction. There is a few aspects I wanted to go over with you. When you quit your addiction to alcohol or drugs, of course, before you quit, you tell yourself you want to quit because of all the problems that it's causing, the troubles with your health, and you just always seem to know in your mind that when you quit using, you're going to be better, you're going to feel better, and that's the reason that you want to quit. Will you feel better after you quit a severe addiction to alcoholism and drugs? There's a lot that you have to do to manage your condition after you've quit. Now, the reason that you use drugs and alcohol is because you have an unsettled, I like to call it an unquiet mind. The unquiet mind is what pulls you towards addiction. I call it the addictive pull. It's looking to calm itself. And you became addicted not by choice, but you were messing around, drinking, trying drugs at some point in your life, and you did it just to be high or maybe just for an escape. And what you didn't realize was that your psychological and physiological body is prone to addiction, and you just wind up becoming addicted if all the factors are there for you. Now, let me point something out. I saw a study, and this was about 10 years ago. I have not seen a follow-up study, but I believed it as soon as I saw it. Over the last 25 years, I've studied addiction. I've read easily 450 books on addiction, psychological disorders, and what factors accompany addiction. And what this study had said, at first it threw me, but then being very educated in addiction, I could understand it. It was a study, and it said that when you quit a heavy addiction to alcohol or drugs, that it does not improve your chances of living longer versus using. So using versus not using, you think you'd live longer. And you'd have to ask yourself, well, that doesn't sound right. Well, here's what I'm going to explain to you. Now, that study, they didn't go into deeply because it was new, and they said that they have to do a lot more further research. Here's the reason, and I believe it. When you quit an addiction, you're cold turkey quit, but you're doing what's called white knuckling. If you have an underlying psychological disorder that needs attention, that needs psychotropic drugs to help you feel calmer, to calm your mind down, and you don't take those psychotropic drugs, you just quit your addiction and you're unsettled. You stay unsettled. You gravitate towards maybe binge eating, drinking a lot of coffee. You take up smoking, or if you were a smoker, you start smoking more heavier. So you look for other ways to calm the mind down. What happens is, if you don't properly manage yourself after you quit your addiction, and you're all prone to anxiety and depression, and you're not taking care of the underlying condition that caused your addiction, here's what's going to happen. If you don't have proper management, stress and anxiety tax your organs. Now, you're not using drugs or alcohol anymore. You're not getting the toxins in your body. So you would think that you would live longer. But if you don't treat your underlying condition, and you have a lot of stress on your body, and your mind is unquiet and you're unsettled, you're going to wind up being prone to diseases like cancer. You'll get kidney disease. Basically, whatever stress may pull on your body, that's what you're going to be prone to. So proper management is very, very important after you quit your addiction. Bill Wilson of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I'll say this very briefly, he quit drinking, and he was in an insane asylum many times, and he had to quit. Well, after he quit, he still had a lot of problems with depression. He was a sex addict, and he messed around with other drugs. He messed around with LSD. He was a chain smoker. He wound up dying mainly due to emphysema. So, he quit his main addiction that was going to put him in the insane asylum, but he did not treat his underlying problem. He actually went on a quest to try to figure out why people become addicted. And he looked for cures. A lot of different ways, which really doesn't make sense today, but the reason why he was looking for the cures to addiction, he still felt that even though he quit his drinking, he was doing his smoking, and he had all the unquiet mind and the anxieties, even though he quit the alcohol. So, it's very, very important that you manage yourself. Yeah, going to meetings helps, but good diet helps, and you got to learn to tame and calm your unquiet mind. And that's something I'm going to always bring up to you, and it's very, very important. There'll be a lot of videos on YouTube. Use them, and you'll learn from them. I make them sincerely, and I did not get into learning about addiction. I mean, I'm an ex-alcoholic, severe heavy drinker. I quit 25 years ago. I didn't get into learning about addiction so I could write books and make money. That's last on the list. It really comes from my heart, what I'm learning and what I'm teaching you. So please learn and listen to what I have to offer. There's a lot of knowledge there. I spent many days and evenings and nights of my life over 25 years studying this stuff, and I want to teach it to you. It's really sad addiction. It's touched me in a lot of ways, and with family member, and so I understand it, and I'm going to bring you the solutions, but you got to get educated on them, and I'm going to educate you. So thank you.